So you're new to the area, or you're thinking about actually moving to Colorado, and you're just trying to figure out the best location to move to, and Littleton for some reason keeps coming up on your search, and you just need to know more information about Littleton before you are actually want to make the plunge and move there. Well, then this video is going to be for you, because I'm going to give you all the facts you need to know before moving to Littleton, Colorado. Now, this isn't a pros and cons list of Littleton because I've done multiple of those. No, this is just facts. I'm going to go over locations, schools, and a bunch of other things that you need to know before actually moving to Littleton, Colorado. Now, my name is Tyler Norris, and I'm a local realtor out here in Colorado, and I like making videos like this because I generally want to help you really make the best decision before you actually move to Colorado, and if that decision of moving here is for you. So make sure you like and subscribe, and so you can stay up to date with all my videos and you don't miss a beat when it comes to moving to Colorado. So first off, let's talk about the location of Littleton. Now, if you look on a map, you'll notice that Littleton is just going to be west of 25. It's going to be south of Denver and east of the foothills. Really well located to get into a bunch of different areas. That's super convenient, and reasons why you might actually move to Colorado with access to the foothills, access to Denver, and it just gives you easy access with not too much of a commute time to those areas. Now, all that depends on what part of Littleton you're coming from, and also time of day and traffic that you are traveling. Now, with Littleton, you are actually seeing Littleton stretch over 3 different counties: Arapahoe, Douglas, and also Jefferson County. Also, you're going to see it covers both incorporated Littleton and also unincorporated areas that with a Littleton mailing address. Now, Littleton is really well located, where a lot of people love the location and the convenience of the area. Now, you will see that it stretches, Littleton mailing address stretches to Kankakee, Roxborough, Columbine, Grant Ranch. I've seen it actually stretch into areas of Lone Tree, where you would think those addresses would actually be a Lone Tree address, but they're actually Littleton. So it really does stretch really far, and it is a very convenient place to live. Now, you have convenience of 470, Santa Fe, Broadway, different areas to get you down to Denver, which would be Santa Fe would be a really convenient spot for that. Or if you're trying to get to the airport, you could take 470 all the way around and get on even the toll road of 470 and get to the airport in a pretty good time. Now, this is a really big win for a lot of people, but make sure you drive around the location of Littleton and see if it really fits for you guys before you actually move there. Next up, let's talk about the housing, and not just talk about the price of housing. Let's talk about the actual styles of houses that you could potentially buy in Littleton area. Now, there is something for everybody in this area. I'm not just saying that. It is truly, there is a little bit of everything in Littleton because it does stretch so far. But let's just talk about the main areas. So if you're looking new construction, you can go over to like Sterling Ranch area, and they have your new construction. If you want that new construction community feel, that is a really good location, and a lot of people enjoy buying in Sterling Ranch. But if you're somebody that wants a more established neighborhood with mature trees and maybe no HOA, or maybe a HOA that's just not that expensive, there's definitely that also in Littleton. You have historic Littleton downtown that has houses that are older with a lot of character but might need some work and updates, and then you're going to have different areas and houses in Combine Valley, and you're going to have houses in the Kankakee Valley area that you're going to be able to buy and maybe fix up that might not be as expensive as something like the Combine Valley area. So there's definitely something for everyone. You're going to see houses from split levels, tri-levels, ranchers. You're going to see a more modern, not, I want to say modern, but like maybe the 90s, early 2000 houses also as well in these older communities. So depending on what style you like, you can most likely find it. I see driving on Broadway a lot of those ranchers, and a lot of people have updated them or maybe even popped the tops of those ranchers. I've also seen a lot of split and tri-levels seem to be a really big one because of the 70s and 80s builds of those houses. That seem to be a really popular style. So depending if you're somebody that has a family, first-time home buyer, retiree, or somebody that's a remote worker, there is a little bit of something for everybody depending on exactly what's best best fit for you. So next up is the schools. So if you're somebody that has family or thinking about having a family, this can be a really important one for you. But Littleton is served by 3 highly regarded school districts. So one, you have the Littleton Public Schools, consistently ranked among the best in Colorado. Jefferson County Public Schools, serving areas like Ken Carroll and West Littleton, and then Douglas County School District, covering neighborhoods like Sterling Ranch and Roxborough. So you have some of the best school systems, especially if you look at niche.com. If you're not using niche.com to kind of understand really good areas, I highly recommend it. It gives you good ratings. You can toss in a zip code and it'll kind of give you a rating of the schools, area, and a bunch more information. So use niche.com and actually look up some of these school districts and see what they're actually being ranked. Also in Littleton, but also Colorado, you have these really cool things called charter schools. You might be familiar with them, but from where we came from, there was just a few charter schools in Maryland, but compared to here in Colorado, there's a ton of charter schools that you can potentially get your kids into, and it's like a free private school most of the time where you have a really good education. You just might not be a neighborhood school, so you might have to drive your kids to actually school, but there's a lot of really good school options in Littleton and in and around Colorado, but specifically Littleton, because you have those 3 different school districts that are highly ranked. So next on the list is historic downtown Littleton. This is one of the main reasons that we love Littleton so much, is because of the downtown and the good community feel. There's so many good things to do. I meet clients at places like the Mango Tree. It's a good coffee shop. If you haven't been there, go check it out. I started getting into tea. Never thought I would actually get into drinking tea, but there's a spot called In Tea that a friend showed me, and I just love going there. I will sometimes actually choose tea over coffee because of this spot. I also go get my hair cut at this place called Strictly Biz. If you want a barbershop that feels like a good community where you walk in and they know your name, that is the spot to go. My son loves getting his hair cut there. There's just so much going on in downtown Littleton that it just really makes it feel like a small town feel, and you're still close to downtown Denver, but just gives you just this convenience and charm that you might be looking for when you're moving to a new area, especially out here in Colorado. Next up is the trails, parks, and recreation of Littleton. Things that you should just know before moving here and how great it is, because there is so many different things to do when it comes to parks and trails and recreation. So you have things like the South Platte Park and Carson Nature Center, which has miles of trails along a river and wildlife. It's just really cool parks to go check out. Also, you have Chatfield State Park, which you can go paddleboarding, boating, you could go swimming, you could go fishing, you can go mountain biking. There's so much different things to do at Chatfield. And then you also have all the neighborhood parks throughout Littleton and all these playgrounds. I've constantly said the best playground in Maryland is like the worst one out here. They have done really well out here at maintaining and updating these neighborhood playgrounds and parks, where it's just a lot of fun to take your kids and get some energy out of the kids, but it's just so much fun and so many different things to do. One of my favorite parks to go see a sunset is called Jackass Hill Park. If you do not know why it's called Jackass Hill, it's a fun fact to go look up. I'll let you go do that on your own, but Jackass Hill has a really gorgeous sunset. So if you are visiting here, I strongly encourage you to go check it out and enjoy the sunset there. But this is a real big reason why a lot of people love Littleton. You don't have to go far to actually enjoy the outdoors. You can stay in Littleton and not have to actually travel into the mountains. So if you're moving to Colorado, you're probably moving because of this, but I'm going to throw it into this list anyway and say it's specifically for Littleton. But the weather out here is awesome. You got 300 days of sun. You actually look forward sometimes to those cloudy days just so you feel like you don't have to go outside and you can binge watch your favorite Netflix show. But the weather is great. I've tried to explain this to my friends back in Maryland. Even the cold weather, it just hits different because of the sun. It's not as bad as you think. I think last year I was shoveling snow in my shorts because it was actually warm out. So the weather out here is phenomenal. I love the Colorado weather. We're going to call it Littleton weather, but it is really fun to live out here and enjoy the weather. Now, there is that dryness that you might want to have to get used to, and you make sure you drink a lot of water, but it is a really fun fun area to live because you can enjoy all those recreations and trails because of the 300 days of sun. If shopping, dining, and amenities like groceries are important to you, Littleton definitely has it, and it's also conveniently located to a lot of really other good shopping areas. So for shopping, you have places like Aspen Grove, you have Southwest Plaza, you're really close to Lone Tree, which has one of the biggest malls called Park Meadows Mall. And then if you go a little bit further, you are in Castle Rock, and you can actually go to the outlets in Castle Rock. Now, when it comes to like grocery stores, you have everything. You have King Soopers, you have Safeways, you have Trader Joe's, you have Whole Foods, all these different grocery shopping options. Also, you have Costco. A new Costco is being built over off Mineral between Santa Fe and Broadway. So a new Costco is going in there in Littleton. You also have downtown Littleton where you can do a lot of shopping. And then when it comes to dining, you have places like Breck Brewery and Angelo's Tavern to be able to go out and have some good food and also have a good environment for kids to run around and enjoy the area with really good views. So definitely Littleton has those shopping and amenities that you might be looking for, and it's gonna, if it doesn't have it, it's really conveniently located to an area that might have what exactly you need. So culture and community is a really big thing for us as a family, and we really wanted to be in an area that had that, and Littleton definitely does. Now downtown, they're always throwing on some sort of event, or if it's a farmer's market, you can go to Aspen Grove and see another farmer's market. They just have all these different events in the area that you can go to with a family and just feel like you're part of a really good community. Now in the neighborhoods, the community feels are unreal. Just driving these certain areas and showing certain clients these areas, I feel like kids are back in the 90s where they're just on their bikes, enjoying the neighborhood kids. I feel like parents are just telling them, hey, come back before the street lights come back on. It is just a really good community feel where you just want to raise a family and just have a really good time while you're doing it. So it's definitely a good sense of community. There's also really good online presence of Facebook groups that have really good communities specific for Littleton. And then also I actually like the email newsletter that Downtown Littleton sends out, and it just gives you a bunch of information of what events are happening and what's happening in that local community. So if you're looking for culture and community, I mean, Littleton's gonna have it, and if you can't find it, you can definitely get online and look for where that community would be within Littleton. Commute and transportation is really important for a lot of people moving to a different location, especially if you're moving to that location for a job. Now, with Littleton, like I said, for the first reason or thing that you needed to know before moving here was the location of Littleton. It makes it very convenient to get to these different areas. So if you're trying to get for a job to Denver Tech Center, you're very close to that. You're about like 20 minutes to get to the Denver Tech Center. If you're trying to get to downtown Denver, depending on traffic, you could be there in like 30 minutes. So it's very conveniently located. Also, they do have the light rail that goes out of downtown Littleton that can get you down into Denver as well. So it doesn't have a ton of public transportation where you're seeing a ton of different bus routes, but you are seeing some transportation that would work really well. But with it being so conveniently located, you can do a driving commute and actually get to those different areas. I've actually had helped clients buy in Littleton that actually go all the way to Buckley, Space 4 Space. So there is a bunch of different options, and Littleton has a good commute factor. Again, all of this is going to depend on traffic. A lot of you are going to probably comment on how bad the traffic is. Coming from Maryland, no joke, it is a lot better than what Maryland traffic and DC traffic was. So depending on what area you're coming from, if you're coming from a place like Iowa, this could be a pretty big shock traffic wise, but coming from a place like Maryland, this was not that big of a shock. It was almost more of a relief of how good the traffic was compared to there. Who's moving to Littleton? Well, a lot of the clients that I've helped are younger families or people that are ready to start having families because of the schools and the community feel. I've also helped people that are looking to downsize and make maybe have empty nesters but want to still stay in the community of Littleton. And then I'm seeing some young professionals still wanting to move to the area. Majority of them seem to still want to be in the Denver area because they're closer to the downtown and the nightlife that downtown Denver actually offers. Now, is Littleton going to be right for you? You actually don't know until you actually start checking out the area and seeing some of these neighborhoods. One thing you could do is I have a buyer questionnaire in the description below where you can fill out the buyer questionnaire, and from there I can help you navigate maybe what neighborhood or area of Colorado might be best for you based on your wants and how you answer that questionnaire. Also, I have a link in the description where you can set up a one-on-one consultation with me where we can talk about all your real estate wants and your relocation to Colorado, and there's the link in the description for that. And then last, I have created a relocation roadmap, which is completely free, where you can download that and take a look at what it really takes step by step to move and relocate to Colorado. I made this because I was stressed when we moved here, and I wanted to make it a little bit easier for other people that I've helped move to Colorado. So download that relocation roadmap today. Now, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification button so you stay up to date with all these videos, and I'll see you in the next video.